What is going on, Society's Outlet? Back with another episode of Trending 10 for Monday, June 29th, 2020. Jarrell Muhammad, what's going on?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
What's going on? Greetings.
A lot of crazy stuff we can cover today in the Trending 10. You know, we still dealing with COVID. We got the whole social injustice movement going on. Anything new for y'all lately?
Nah, man. Honestly, same old. Just keeping it moving.
You still quarantining?
Not really, to be honest with you. I'm not. I mean, quarantine as far as like, there's really nowhere to go. You know, I really don't be going out like that anyway. I do go to the gym.
Gotcha.
You know, AJ has his own gym, and then I go grocery shopping here and there. But other than that, there's really nowhere to go.
Gotcha. What about you, Ro? Anything new? Or did we just lose him?
No, he's
Yeah, I'm back.
What's good, Ro? Anything new with you?
Man, just chilling, rocking through a world where this beautiful chocolate skin is hated on. So, just living life. You hear me?
Well, you say less, man. Let's go ahead and dive into this Trending 10. Real, I'm gonna have you kick it off. Explain to the people what Amazon provided for the people on Juneteenth.
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, so I mean, it's laughable, but also it's offensive in some cases. But some Amazon workers in Chicago area, it looks like the warehouse is considered the DCH1 warehouse. We're actually offered a special meal in celebration of Juneteenth, and included in that meal was the tasty meal of chicken and waffles, extra syrup. So a lot of workers were offended, and I kind of just wanted to get y'all's opinion. Is that something that you would consider disrespectful? Is it a lack of just understanding behind culture? Like, well, how do y'all feel about being offered chicken and waffles on Juneteenth?
Go ahead, Mo. I want to hear your take.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a certain level of like disrespect. I don't know if it was. Now I'm not gonna say it definitely wasn't intentional. Maybe it was. Maybe it was a little more subtle. But sometimes, and I think you guys can agree that sometimes I feel like white folks especially go above and beyond to kind of like be accepted, or not be accepted, but make it be known that they don't have a problem with how different you may be. You know what I mean? Like, for example, with like me being Middle Eastern, they'll always ask me questions about my name, or like, so how is it like in Iraq? Is it, you know what I mean? And they'll ask me these questions, and it's just like, sometimes I just don't want to answer them, because it just comes from such an ignorant place. But I understand, like, they're trying so hard to just understand me, and they're trying so hard to kind of feel like, hey, you're accepted here, that they don't know that they're doing something wrong.
Okay. Well, real to answer that, my opinion on it, man, I kind of got mixed feelings about it. Like, but at the same time, what would we want them to do? Do we want them to pull up with like some hash browns and tater tots and give out to them? So I guess he's like, we're gonna go hard for them. Let's get the black people what they want. It's Juneteenth. I know they like chicken and waffles. I'm gonna fuck with them.
Yeah,
I know they can eat it.
Chicken and waffles is good.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I take it. Like, is it a little stereotype? Yeah, but I kind of see it as like a positive sign. That's me. They trying to fuck with us. Trying to make the most of it. Get these niggas, get our workers, some chicken and waffles. I kind of rock with it a little bit. I kind of rock with it.
I gotta say that. So for me, just because everybody here, especially if you've been rocking with us for a while, know that I've worked for Discover Bank, the Discover Card Company in the banking sector. And they kind of did that for us on Black History Month. They came out with the fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and mashed potatoes. Sat it on the table. You thought they were doing something special. And to me, I was like, first off, the chicken was trash. It was nasty. If you're gonna cook something for the culture, make it worthy for the culture to eat. And realistically, I'm like, come on, bro, just give them a pizza party. You're saving money, less work. You can get a whole bunch of pizza for a discount. So I'm like, you don't have to go that hard. I appreciate the attempt to acknowledge, but the chicken and waffles might be a little OD.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I'm surprised Discover did that. Discover took some risk doing that. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the next topic, Real. Talk to us about these penalties that some of these brothers got for damaging police cars and statues.
All right, yeah. So I don't have full information on this subject just because it's something that's an executive order that's been proposed. And as of right now, every piece of information that was proposed is still under works. But so far, President Trump, y'all's President Trump, was looking to sign an executive order to actually have criminal charges for vandalizing a statue, police vehicle during the protest. So right now, the numbers that I was given that were thrown out, which can be completely inaccurate at the moment, but the numbers were 10 years for vandalizing, defacing a statue, up to a 10-year maximum penalty, and then for a police vehicle, some were saying life. Life for vandalizing, plus major fines up to $25,000 for just the fine and penalty for vandalizing a vehicle. So how do y'all feel about that? Do you think we're taking the correct course of action, or what's your opinion?
I think what makes me mad about Trump is he's so quick to like condemn these like laws towards shit like that, but not once he's come out, and I guess is I shouldn't be surprised, but he not once has he came out and like condemned racism and condemned, for example, just like the murder of George Floyd, like, like he has not came out and publicly addressed that whole situation, or just the situation going on with the Black Lives Matter situation, like right now, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the thing that like leaves me kind of like, there was a video the other day where, I don't know if you guys saw it, it was surfaced on Instagram again. Sean King, he posted, and there was these protesters that were driving by, and these white people were yelling at the protesters, white power, and they all had Trump shirts on. And Trump commented on that. He's like, those are great Americans. Those are great people. They know what they're doing.
He retweeted it. He reposted it actually on his Twitter.
Right. So he's so quick to post something like that. He's so quick to post something like that. But then he'll stay silent on the simple gesture of just addressing a murder. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing that leaves me in awe, man. It's like, man, this guy really does have it out for, people of color, especially, and then in this time, especially Black folks, So when it comes to the statue, I'm like, that's not even a relevant law. You know what I mean? That's not even something that, like, that's not a law or an action that you need to waste your energy on. There's many other things that you should condemn, and there's many other laws that you should impose to prevent certain actions being taken, but you're gonna sorry, excuse my French, but you're gonna protect statues of people that were slave owners, that were bad for this country, that fought against the very moral and value system of this country. So I mean, obviously the proof is in the pudding, man.
Man, I just think it's not a surprise. This is what America is. They find ways just to put people in jail. I'm not surprised by it, bro. That's for damaging the statue. What'd you say? 10 years?
Yeah, the proposal was 10 years for a statue, and I believe life for a police vehicle. So it's
yeah, well, that's because they don't even get people out here killing people. These cops' life and all that. So the fact that they'll do that for damaging a car just lets you know what they value.
Let me ask you guys a question. So let me ask you a question. I know the whole purpose of Trending 10 is we try to knock it out as fast as we can, but I really want to ask you guys a question, because a lot of the times when, so I'll have a dialogue with like a Trump supporter or whatever the case is, it's like they'll always bring up the fact that he's done good things for this country. And one of the things that they reference is his economic impact. Do you think his economic impact, whether it was positive or negative, okay, let's say it was positive. I mean, it was in some aspect, let's be real, do you think that positive economic impact is enough of a justification to, for us to kind of like for America to let him slide on the mishaps?
I'm gonna have to go with no.
Hello?
Personally, I'm gonna have to go with no. Hell no. And the reason why is because a lot of things that he's done economically, right? Those are already coming to fruition. They were in the process of happening before he stepped in office. Yes, when he was in office, he tried to take credit for them, and maybe you can place that credit to him. But let's take like the stimulus checks, or let's take any sort of government relief that he's provided. That's coming out of our pockets. You gotta realize that that's coming out of your pocket. You paid into that when you paid into tax dollars. In fact, your stimulus check, you are having to pay taxes on that in the next tax year. It's written in the bill. So if you're going to give him credit for it, give yourself credit for it because you paid for it. So I don't think that's something that you can totally hats off to him, because I think a civil injustice, a humanistic right is more important than economic relief for people who already have economic relief because their bank accounts are large for the most part. So I would say that that's kind of like looking at a mask and seeing its beauty, and then when you take it off, it's just something that's a little darker underneath. So I don't think so.
Okay, good
Yeah,
answer.
no, I agree with that, Real. But on to the next topic, Real. Go ahead and finish it off with what is Uber doing during this movement with social justice awareness going forward.
Okay, you were breaking up there. Repeat that.
Oh, my bad. That was Mo's topic. My bad. Go your next one. What Bank of America is doing for the social injustice.
Bank of America, yes, sir. So this happened about a month ago, but I still think it's relevant. So Bank of America has actually pledged to donate $1 billion to combat social injustice and to kind of help rights movements and donate into some social education when it comes to racial inequalities and injustices. So I want to get y'all's take on that. It's $1 billion. See what y'all think, and then when I kind of break it down afterwards, I want to kind of get a temperature gauge on how y'all continue to feel.
Man, I feel like Bank of America. I
know,
don't really rock with the 12 national banks because all government related. But I kind of feel like Bank of America is kind of ahead of the game compared to like Wells Fargo, Chase. I just feel like they're a little bit more innovative, and they do more community work type thing. So I'm not really surprised they did that. I am surprised that you said this $1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion.
Okay, so that's going to be a huge tax write-off that I'm sure they had their accountants do the numbers for. If we donate this much, how much can we save? How much can we get back? That obviously it comes down to business at the end of the day. But it'll just be interesting to see exactly where that money goes. So whenever I guess they give it out to show where that $1 billion is actually going, then I think we can judge it further from there. But you don't have any details as far as where is it going yet?
So no details as far as where is it going in terms of like what if they're going to donate to specific charities, if they're going to use the funds to actually help train their employees, things like that. So I'm not 100% sure, but they did pledge $1 billion.
Wow, that's crazy. Good show on Bank of America.
Yeah, I mean, surface level information. The headline sounds great, but once more information comes out, we'll definitely determine that.
So let me throw something else out to y'all real quickly then. So last year in overdraft fees, the public paid Bank of America $1.7 billion. So if you're really looking at it, is Bank of America pledging the money, or are they spending our money that we gave them for being late? Granted, we were late. Granted, we were late making payments. And when I say we, I mean the people. I don't bank with Bank of America. But it's $1.7 billion in overdraft fees. So they're just recycling that money. Does that change y'all's opinion?
Yeah,
that's what banks do. That's how they make their money off fees. So it doesn't really change my opinion.
So I think the fact that JB knew that, he already knew what's up, but I didn't like JB knew the structure of the bank, and he kind of is more in that. With me, I was more focused on the headline, and the fact that you just said that changes my mind just a little bit, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it changes my mind a little bit in terms of the dollar figures they put on it, because I work in the banking system as well. I would say if you're getting in overdraft fees, $1.7 billion, match it. So go ahead and match that. Just throw out $700 million on the tail end, and you're going to get that same income this year. It's going to be the exact same thing, probably even more with the way COVID's impacting the economic state of the world. So match it.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Man, Mo, we coming to you. Explain to us what's going on with this whole Sean King's post and how it's related to Jesus, and go ahead and dive into that for us.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this might be a little curveball for our audience, but so Sean King basically posted a picture on Instagram, talking about how and it was a picture of like a brown man, with a beard, kind of looked like it was like me, but like JB's complexion. You know what I'm saying? And it basically talked about how experts have been saying that this is the most accurate depiction of Jesus, and how the white pictures and portraits of Jesus was a way for slave owners to basically impose white supremacy upon the world, and what is it, provoke that the white people are the superior being, by putting it into our heads that Jesus was white when actually he was really your color, JB. And what is it? Basically, like, a lot of people came after him talking about, like, you know Jesus, like, Jesus is not racist. The Christianity isn't racist at all, and they were completely, like, a bunch of, like, white people completely misunderstood his whole point and made it all about the religion itself, and made it seem like Sean was saying Jesus was racist and Christianity is racist. Christianity is all about white supremacy and that no one should believe in it, and it just completely got blown out of proportion. And no one paid attention to the fact that what Sean King was really trying to say is that Jesus wasn't white. The reason why he is depicted as white is is to promote white supremacy,
Right.
and that to make people of color feel inferior in this world. So
That's
what do you
that's that's facts, man. I think in Poland, a random European country, in Poland, they have statues of Jesus up as a black man in one of their museums. But yeah, no, that's definitely a white supremacist move. If black folks knew Jesus was black, the type of empowerment that would give them, the confidence. The white folks didn't want to do that way back in the day. Like, what was this? Probably like 1600s. They started pushing that agenda that he was a white man. Same thing, like they didn't want to tell us Mozart and Beethoven was black. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, those guys are black. We just now find that out a
Oh,
couple
I didn't know
weeks ago.
that. That's
Yeah.
wild to me.
But yeah, go ahead, Real. That's all I got to say to it. It is a white supremacist thing way back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I could deep dive into this topic because I've had a lot of debates and discussions on this one specific topic with a lot of people. But realistically, the way I feel is I agree with the collective answer is that yes, it is a tactic to push white supremacy and white Christianity on black people. If you really look at it, when it came into slavery days, white Africans didn't celebrate Christianity the way they do now. So I think it was a point. And if you're truly a Christian and you actually read the Bible and get into the Bible and terminology and the vocabulary in the Bible, it does say that Jesus' hair was as wool and his skin was of olive complexion. So I don't know if I've really met any white people with woolly hair and dark skin. Like one of my old heads said, he said, man, there's only a couple olives I see, green and black. How many green people have you seen? So
Right, I agree. I agree,
Yeah,
bro.
like for the audience, I'm not saying Jesus was black. I'm just saying he could have been Middle Eastern. He could have been black, but I know for sure he was not white back at that time frame. He was
Or like
not.
there's some pictures with him in like blue eyes
Yeah,
and
come
like
on, man.
white skin. It's like
holding little African babies. I know the LDS church.
right.
We live in Salt Lake City. There's a lot of Mormons here. LDS church has them holding pictures of African babies. I'm like, bro, he's closer to Africa than he was to America at the time.
Right.
And he's from Nazareth, right, which is right next to Egypt. And if you have any geologists or
Like right
anybody
below
here,
it.
yeah, right by Egypt. And Egypt, as we know, has Middle Eastern and black. So
Yeah,
it got to be somewhere.
Egypt is all my color. Like
Yeah.
Egypt is all like brown, and you know what I mean?
I know
Crazy, man. It's
African
crazy.
Egyptians myself. I know a few African Egyptians, so we can go through and actually kind of determine, like, more than likely 99.9% he wasn't straight hair with a beard, skinny dude with blue eyes. And matter of fact, he was a carpenter, so We know how
Man,
they
Sean King has guts, man. This is religion and politics, both in one. And you know, last thing I'm gonna say about this, it's very typical of the masses, especially the white folks, to just completely disregard what his point was and make it about like, yo, you're saying Jesus is racist, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So many people went on fucking line and was just like saying that Sean was saying Jesus was racist and that Christianity is a racist fucking religion, and they just completely disregarded his point. So, and I feel like when it comes to situations like that, you can't win. You just have to kind of put it out there to plant the seed.
Yeah, no, that stuff is crazy, man. And just speaking about racism going on, segueing into your next topic, Mo. Explain to us what happened. You said it got reported this morning about some St. Louis lawyers.
Yeah, so I had Jarrell write it down because I didn't have a notepad. Jarrell, do you want to kind of explain for our audience what's happening?
Yeah, so in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, Mark and Patricia Miskowski, McQuowski, Malinsky, whatever, they were actually they're actually pointing some weapons at some protesters walking through their neighborhood to get to the mayor's office. They were in a gated community. Mark was holding an AR-15 or MMP, and Patricia was holding it looked like a 6-shot pistol. But the argument is that goes against Missouri Criminal Code 57.030.1, number 4. And to kind of get a little bit more into that, I kind of want to get Mo's opinion and JV's opinion too, and then I'll kind of say what I have to say because I'm a little passionate about it.
And I don't got much to say about this. I don't got much to say about this because I'm not surprised. You know, they kind of been doing this and, you know, pulling up with guns at rallies and things like that. I'm not surprised. A lot of these KKK members or racist members are doctors, lawyers, dentists. So, I mean, this doesn't really surprise me. They should definitely face some penalties. I don't think that should be allowed, just pulling up at a peaceful protest with guns locked and loaded. That's all I'm going to say about this. It's just sad, but it's not surprising to me.
I think this is a clear representation that there is a fear in these old white folks that things are they realize things are starting to change. They are not the superior beings anymore.
That's what it is. Fear. Right on the money is
they
fear.
are afraid that people of color, specifically Black folks, specifically the ones that have been oppressed and the victims to genocide, the worst genocide in human history, specifically, they're actually waking up and they are ready to go.
Why do you think they did? I don't understand why they fear that though. Like,
because it's changed, bro. It's changed. Yeah. They're not the ones anymore. They're not the ones that can walk around and they're not the ones anymore. Things are changing. They're the ones that are vulnerable now. You know what I mean?
I forgot who said it, but I believe it was a pretty famous politician back in the day, or somebody who was like a well known. But he said his biggest fear in the world is Negro unity.
I know who said that. Fuck.
That's probably because we're dominant as far as population around the world. If you look at Africa,
God, bro,
South America.
Well, dude, look at so the rapper Absol, he said in one of his most famous songs, he's like, if all the gangs in the world unify, we stand a chance against the military tonight. You know what I mean? And obviously when he said gangs, like he's talking about like Bloods, Crips, and like, within, he's insinuating like the African American community. If they all just united and they unified, they stand a chance against the military tonight, the real opposition. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's at that point where things are starting to surface and things are starting I think this is the time where there's going to be actual change. You know what I mean? And everyone realizes that, and these white folks are scared. You know what I mean? They're scared.
Yeah, I agree. They really are.
This white woman was in her front yard with her finger on the trigger like this, pointing him at people, ready to shoot. That's attempted murder.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, because I carry, so I have to know a little bit about the laws. I have to kind of understand how it works, and plus, I bounce at a pretty diverse club where we saw a lot of action. So I wasn't supposed to, but I was holding it. Realistically, if you're going to brandish a firearm, which what they were doing was brandishing, I mean, it's intent. When you put your finger on the trigger and you point it, it's intent to kill, and you got gotta hit those red zones at that point. You have to. I mean, that's part of the law. So realistically, there's only a couple arguments that people can say. Stand your ground law is one that I've been hearing. Inaccurate. Stand your ground law is an extension of the protect your castle law, or I believe it's called protect your castle, where you can protect your castle, but that's only upon entrance. They entered in a gate, which gated community does not always mean private property. They entered in a gate to get to a specific place. They weren't threatening this home, to my knowledge. It depends. But at the end of the day, you can't really put your finger on the trigger and point assault weapons at people, because if I was there, I would have pointed right back and pulled that bitch. So you threatening my life. I don't know if you're gonna pull, so I'm gonna pull it, and then I'm gonna go to jail.
Same
They're
way.
fine. You know what I mean? They're over here sitting at home. They're fine. So to let y'all know, once we start actually clapping back, it's gonna be a different story. And I know y'all think when you start clapping, it's gonna be a story, but y'all been clapping and we've been holding silent. We've been snapping. So once we clap back, it's a wrap. And I'm tired of people doing dumb shit like that.
Yeah. People are definitely wild, and they got some courage. I'll say that. Some of these people definitely got some courage doing some crazy stuff like that. All right, Mo, let's go ahead and get to your last topic. I accidentally said this a little bit earlier, but if you can explain to us what Uber is doing.
Yeah. Uber.
You still there, Mo?
So Uber is doing free delivery from black owned restaurants, and the main reason why I wanted to talk about this is because there's been huge backlash. Like, okay, what about the Asian restaurants? What about, so only Black Lives Matter? Like, no, you know, and they just made it into this big whole thing, and it's just like, again, like,
oh, sensitive, bro.
Like, what about Mexican lives? You know what I mean? What about Mexican? Like, why can't we get free delivery? It's like, y'all, what the fuck?
We can't have nothing. We can't get nothing.
And that's the
anything we get, they bitch about.
It's always a
complaint. Because you got to think about it, bro. Like, they don't look at it from a standpoint of, they look at it as a standpoint of now. You know what I mean? They look at it as like right now. They don't look at it as the last 400 years have happened, and the Black community is the only community that have been a victim of genocide, the only community that didn't get, reparation. So when black people are secluded and are the only ones that kind of get special treatment, and I'm not saying that Black people should be treated as like a charity case, but in a way I can't say nothing if only Black-owned business and Black-owned restaurants get a certain type of like special treatment, because it's like, fuck it, like that's what the revolution is right now. Yeah. That's what the revolution is. That's the whole cause. It's surrounding this whole topic. So I can't say, well, what about shawarma plates? Like, what about, you know what I mean? Let me get some let me get some Middle Eastern food to go for free. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be very arrogant. So
yeah,
that's the reason I wanted. What you guys think?
I'll let Ro go first.
Man, the way I look at it is, man, just let somebody have something, man. We always got so many people hating, bro. Stand behind it. Start donating some time and effort to actually educate yourself on the disparities that Black Americans have went through. We know y'all gone through it. We get it. We're behind y'all. I mean, there's not one Black person who doesn't say, we stand behind them. And what this whole movement has taught us is that we are now starting to really get behind every injustice. We're talking about all communities at this point. But stop hating, for real. Like, let them get their free delivery. It's not even hurting you or your business. And in fact, we didn't even want to be here. Y'all came here on a dream. We came here on a nightmare. You know what I mean? So
yeah, my biggest thing is
that was literally my point I was gonna make. It's like, y'all were forced here. You know what I mean? Yeah. You guys were stripped your culture and everything.
Yeah, my biggest thing is when people start bitching about that type of stuff, like, they don't understand the macro perspective. Like motherfucker, do you know all what we went through to even try to get where we're at? Our businesses was bombed.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know all what we went through? And so when we get one little thing, it's crazy how people easily
delivery from Uber Eats caused an outrage. Like, yeah. What?
People easily get triggered over that. Like, come on, man. Like, at the end of the day, white businesses, y'all will be fine. The minority businesses need it the most. So maybe they can do something. Maybe Cinco de Mayo they can do it towards the Spanish culture, Hispanic culture, something like I don't know. But it's just crazy how everybody bitches when we finally get something. It's like,
You
bro,
know
you
what
know
annoys
everything
me
that we went
too?
through.
Yeah, sorry, JV, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
So you know what annoys me too is like this. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of folks that are, out there standing up. Let's be real. Social media is pretty fucking popping right now on Black Lives Matter movement. Um, but what also makes me mad is like I've seen some of the people that are closest to me that are just completely brushing it off. And what I don't mean brushing it off in a way they're not posting enough about it. What I mean is like they're not taking the time out to educate themselves. They're not taking the time out to read a fucking book about this whole thing. They're not taking the time out to watch a documentary to understand a little more. They just kind of form their opinion based off of a couple of posts they saw on Instagram, or they'll do something based off the trend because they feel like they have to.
Right.
So it's just like what Jake Jarrell was talking about. It's like this mask. And I think what the special thing about what we're doing with Society's Outlet is we're forcing ourselves here, us three, to kind of educate ourselves within our own little circle to be able to like kind of um convey these points, convey our opinions and convey this news in a way where we can make more sense and make it more fun, hopefully in the future, even now. But like that's another thing. It's like we have to make an effort to be able to educate ourselves, because at the end of the day, JB Jarrell, this is not a game. The shit that's happening right now, it's not a game. They're getting mad over fucking Uber Eats. What happens when this shit goes to war?
Yeah, no, it's
You feel
crazy.
me?
It's crazy, man.
Like what happens when this shit gets really, really serious? Let's see who's really like ready to ride at that point. And I'm talking about, you know what I mean? And real quick, last thing I'm saying, I'm talking about the folks that like we know them, bro. Like they're here right on our fucking doorsteps, man. The people, whether the way they dress is completely black, the culture, like black culture influence. We know one of the most saturated industries in the fucking world right now is the rap industry. Everyone's trying to rap. So I just think there just needs to be a little bit more effort to educate and to pursue knowledge.
My bad, Mo. Don't mean to cut you off, but we got 4 more topics to go. We got 3 more in the L of the week. We got 7 minutes to run this before the Zoom chat is going to end. Let's go to
no, you're good, but that's the last thing I just wanted to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see here. The trending topic I have is Kanye West is joining Gap, and when that news came out, Gap stock actually went up 38%. You guys like this move? You guys buying this move? What's your guys' thoughts on
it? Gap.
Yeah, Kanye joining Gap. Let's go ahead and make this quick.
I love that. Yeah, I like it. I'm definitely support it. I will definitely be buying clothes if I have money. Then
I think Mo hit the nail on the head when he said if I have the money, if Kanye is gonna join Gap, make Gap prices. So that's my major opinion.
right.
Make Gap prices.
But I do think Gap is. I think they're definitely going to make a profit. I'm not sure how much they paid him. I'm sure they had to pay him a huge penny. I think they're definitely going to make a profit. Gap. It used to be the thing back in like what 07, 08. Now it's kind of like they kind of started pushing towards like the LGBT type movement. The way their clothing was set up. I don't know. I think Gap is still going to struggle from the consumer side. I mean, the stock went up 38%. I'm not really sure how much. I don't really know about this move, but it is Kanye. You've seen what he did with Nike. You've seen what he did with Adidas. Kanye can.
I think it's a win situation on both sides. I think anything that Kanye puts his hands on is gonna win. I don't know, man. That's just what I think. Because I think Kanye has a cult of a base, like cult following.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So next topic here. This is dumb to me. Texas realtors are no longer using the term master bedroom or master bathroom when giving people tours of describing the different rooms in the house for racism purposes. If they think this is what black people want, I'm really confused on what this is not what black people want. We don't care about it calling
This is stupidest shit ever.
Yeah, dumb. Go ahead, bro. Let me know your thoughts about that.
Man, yeah, I think you said it the best way it can be said. We really don't care about that. Matter of fact, toss us a house. Do some shit like that. We don't give a fuck about no master damn bedroom. That's
make up
that
for
makes
all
us
the
more
years
upset.
of just redlining, bro. Make up for that. Don't fucking change the name. Make up for like, you know, some fucking like years for like, you know, residential segregation. You know what I'm saying? Make up for that. Don't switch the names from a master bedroom to something else. That's fucking corny. That's
Primary
not even an
bathroom,
action taken.
primary bathroom, primary bedroom is what they're going to call it.
That's stupid, bro. And see, that's the thing, bro. That's another thing. Like, I think, you know, this, like, we put too much emphasis on. Nah, let me not.
All right, let's go.
I guess what I would say is contradicting, just because I believe in language and I believe in the power of words, but when it gets to the point where we have to modify our language and we have to modify, you know, our freedom of speech and stuff like that, but that doesn't apply to this. But I think it's stupid. I think that's stupid. I think that's not a real problem.
All right, for the next topic, kind of switching gears here, not so serious topic here. The NBA is coming back. So real quick, the NBA's come back. They're going to be in a bubble. They're going to be living on, on the Disneyland resort, Disneyland little campus. You know, they have a bunch of resorts over there. So real quick, I want to get you guys' NBA predictions. Who do y'all think is going to win the chip this year? And then second, I want to get your guess on how many players do you think will test positive for COVID during the season quickly here.
I think Lakers are going to win it, and a little under a third of players will test positive.
That's a lot.
Okay.
A little under a third?
I think that's a lot.
But that is a lot, low key. I would say let that man J.R. Smith go to the lake. They might get 19 off the bench, and start getting some off the bench productivity. But
you think J.R. Smith's dropping 19 off the bench for real?
Bro, J.R. Smith will go 0 for 6 from the 3-point line, 0 for 6 from the 3-point line one game, and he'll go 7 for 7 the next. So you never know.
Yeah, you're right.
How many players is going to get it? In my opinion, they got to push the narrative on the black community somewhat. So I would say at least 30 to 45 players.
That's a little under a third.
Well, I don't have the exact numbers. I guess we're gonna have to continue that topic for another day, man. You know what? I hate to do it. I think the Clippers are going to get it if Lou Williams.
I was gonna say Clippers too.
If Lou Williams comes back and plays, because what hurts with the Lakers is Avery Bradley isn't playing, and then Dwight Howard, he's still up in the air. We'll find out about Dwight Howard. But I will say the Lakers, if they do sign J.R. Smith, and you do have Dion Waiters coming off the bench, if you can find some type of rotation to get those two guys to work and accept their role.
Lakers got Dion Waiters?
Yeah, they signed Dion Waiters. So if they have Waiters and J.R. Smith come out,
I didn't know that.
It could work, but the only thing is Waiters and Smith, they're not that defensive presence with Avery Bradley.
They'll give you buckets though.
Yeah, they'll get you buckets.
On and off.
That's Avery Bradley though.
I think Dion Waiters is pretty consistent, bro. More consistent than JR.
He's a dog. Dion Waiters is a dog. The only thing with JR is JR can't really create his own shot like that anymore. So he's pretty much just like a shooter pretty much. And so I don't really see JR as much of a scorer in this where he's at now, at his age now. But we got 1 minute to go. L of the week, we're gonna get that out to Muhammad Ali's son, and he said that if his dad was alive today, he would not be rocking with the Black Lives Matter movement. He gets the L of the week. Let me get your guys' thoughts on that real quick before we close out the show.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So,
bro, all I can say is his dad was a pro-black man. He changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. He was really about the movement. People forget BLM and Black Panthers go hand in hand. And Muhammad was definitely a Panther-type brother, so I think he's on some dumb shit.
Yeah, this man, he refused to be a Christian. He went to he wanted to be in the Muslim religion because, he didn't want anything to do with the white man. Like you said, he changed his name. He read books about Marcus Garvey. Shout out Marcus Garvey. Nobody ever talks about him. And then, he was right there, right next to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Malcolm X. I don't know what this dude is talking about. He definitely gets the L of the week, but that's going to wrap it up here for us. You guys have any last comments you guys want to throw out? Looks like we got 45 seconds.
I don't got much to say. I appreciate y'all rocking with us. Hey, and for anybody out there listening, give me my $350,000 in reparations, 2 sheep and a mule.
Any comments, Mo?
from Iraq.
Man, we ain't getting no reparations, real, but
I know.
don't
That's
gotta
why
be-
I
No,
put it
we're
out
good. We're
there.
good.
everybody thinks reparations has to be a check. It could be something else. It could be in healthcare. It could be in education. But we're going to have to talk about that another day. This is Society's Outlet, back with another episode of Trend and 10. We will see you guys next Sunday or Monday back with another one. Tap that like button. Subscribe. We
Peace
out.
out, y'all.
All right, y'all.